Throughout my entire flight training experience, there have been times where I have not really been the happiest, let's just say. And there's been times where I've been scared, sad, and kind of pissed off. But there's really only one flight that just made me really want to quit. And you guys are kind of going to be surprised about this flight. It was my long solo cross country. So let's talk about it. My name's Captain Ethan. It's a beautiful day to fly planes, and let's talk about what happened on my solo cross country that really made me want to quit flying. There's actually a few things that happened. So for my solo cross country, my flight plan was going to be from Clearwater Airpark to Ocala International, Brooksville, and back to Clearwater. So I take off out of Clearwater. I didn't even know I was going to be flying until my instructor scheduled me, because there's been issues where I couldn't get on the schedule. Well, not really that. It's just I had a ton of canceled flights in a row. I get scheduled to go flying. So I'm going to the airport. I think it was after school one day. I'm pretty sure it was after school one day. So I go to the airport. I get pre-flighted. Make sure the fuel's topped off. The oil looks good. Sign my little sheet, which at my flight school now we don't even have. But my old flight school, we had these solo sheets. So it's like the PAVE checklist, I'm safe, the NW craft, all that stuff. Basically, you're signing it, so if you fuck up, that you're responsible for it, which you would be responsible for it anyways because you're acting PIC, but it doesn't matter. So fill it out. I get pre-flighted, get everything set up, and then I taxi down to runway 34 to take off. The weather could have been a little bit better that day, kind of. It was clear skies. There was a few occasional clouds at 5,000 feet, but really what made it miserable, the flight, was the turbulence. The turbulence was insane. I have a video from when I did it. I'll put it up on screen right here. Oh, down. This way. Right here. I'll put the video up on screen. You guys can see how bumpy this flight was. And mind you, I think I had the autopilot on as well. It was insane. Like, the worst turbulence I've ever been in while I was flying. But that's not really the part that made me want to quit. So I did my landing at Ocala. It went pretty good, probably pretty smooth. It went pretty smooth as well. I remember there was a G550 coming in to the airport as well, so I had to circle around I had to fly like a circuit before I can do my landing, just so there's enough spacing for that jet. I can't come into land, taxi back to the runway, take off, and no, that's wrong. I landed there, straight in. I did straight in landing, taxied back, took off, and then I saw the jet coming into land, which launching the jet coming into land was pretty cool to see. Then the next part was flying to Ocala, or not Ocala, flying to Brooksville from Ocala. So I take off southerly. It's really not that big of a leg. It was like, I want to say like 30 to 40 nautical miles, give or take. Wasn't that bad. I come in to land, tower gives me a short approach clearance, so I basically do a side slip and a turn, which I didn't even know I could do. I was just a natural. I did it, landed pretty good, told me contact ground, taxi back to the runway, and take off again. The turbulence is brutal. I am telling you guys, like, I've never experienced turbulence like how I did in this flight. So I'm coming back into not Albert Wooded, sorry. I fly out of that airport so much that it's common to say. So I'm flying back to Clearwater, and I'm flying direct west first before cutting south because I don't want to clip through the Bravo. And that's kind of how I was trained to fly that route. So we fly west and south. So I'm coming back into land. This is the time when I'm dating Autumn, so I rock my wings for her over her house. And then I'm coming into land at Clearwater. And here's where the chaos starts to emerge. So I've come in for the right downwind, make all my right calls. So like the 10 mile out, the 7 mile out, the 3 mile out, and the entering the downwind. So I'm entering the downwind, and there's a plane on the ground that is taxiing to the runway, and they're doing the run-up checklist. I fly the right base. They're still over there, and it's not until that I'm turning base to final where they say that they're taking off runway 34. When I was in training, I was taught check base, final. If there's a plane in both, you don't even go. So, especially at this airport, because it's kind of a shorter approach because there's the Pi Delta to the southeast of it. So I'm flying on final. I make my final call, and then they make their takeoff call. So they're taking off on the runway, and I'm like, can I make it on the ground before they get up in the air? The answer was no. I could not make it on the ground before they get up in the air. So I decided to do a go around. Since the traffic pattern is right pattern for runway 34, I fly offset to the left a little bit and then extend my upwind, I think. Yeah, extend my upwind. So I sidestep to the left, so there's adequate spacing for the plane in front of me and me. So this is kind of what just happens. I think it's I'm pretty sure it was an instructor because she was new. She also sidesteps to the left a little bit. So I'm like, great, here we go. Here we go right here. Solo cross country, boom, mid-air collision, end of my career. Which thankfully that did not happen. But why take off when you see maybe, I don't know what was going through their heads. Maybe they didn't see me on final. Maybe they just weren't paying attention to me on the radio because I made my base in my final call. I don't know. Yeah, so I flied the pattern successfully. You know, I could have been on the ground like 15 minutes earlier if that didn't happen. So I fly the pattern and then come into land. It was a decent landing, not really the greatest. I wish I had my GoPro at the time so I could have filmed it for you guys, but I didn't. But that's really about it with the story on the flight that made me want to quit flying, because apparently we just don't know how to listen to radio comms or check base and final before we take off. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this short little story time. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys go hit that like button down below, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and make sure you guys hit the bell notifications because only about 50 people have them on. So go do that really quickly, and we'll see you guys in the next video.